Good night. Yeah, because that's night time right now. Good night to everyone. It's time for me to record the next speaking practice video. As usual, for studying purposes or for a practicing purposes. Yeah, for a practice purposes. What to say, yeah? From what to begin or with what to begin. Um, I think at first I want to announce that I'm re-recording. Yes, like the previous video, the note number 79 was a little bit corrupted by because I didn't adjust sound on the microphone properly, so the sound of the voice was very low and barely hearable. Barely audible, yes, and barely audible. That's why I deleted the speaking practice video number 79 and I'm recording again the new speaking practice video number 79. It doesn't mean a lot, yeah, because nobody gonna watch these videos, but for me it's kind of why should I post the corrupted video on my channel? Why should I post the video with a low quality or videos that mistakeably corrupted and isn't suitable for watching to my channel if I simply don't want to? Yes, if I at least if I'm doing practice, at least if I'm recording myself on the microphone, at least I want to be able to understand understand and at least hear what I'm talking about in these practice videos uh, in order to simply check myself on mistakes. And if the video is corrupted, how could I would be rewatching it? Yeah, that's why I've deleted the damaged material, not damaged, but not suitable material. Yes, isn't suitable material, and I'm recording the new speaking practice video right now. In this speaking practice video, I'm going to concentrate on two things. At first, I want to speak clearly. Yeah, it means that if I will have to slow down, I will slow down, and this is absolutely normal. And the second is that I want to, as usual, it's actually the basic rules, the two most important and two most basic rules that I'm using while I'm recording speaking practice videos is the first is clarity and um, permission to slow down. And the second is focusing on clear pronunciation. Even with mistakes, even with misspellings, it's better to sound understandably, yes, with mistakes, than muttering with mistakes, yeah? It's like better to do mistakes but speak clearly, in which case, if someone would listen to you, he would understand you, yes, even with mistakes. But if you would muttering into the microphone or muttering during the speech and will do mistakes in pronunciation, mistakes in spelling, nobody gonna understand you, and that is not desirable outcome for any person who speaks in a foreign language. So uh, that's why these 2 points is the most basic and the most important points during the speaking in a foreign language. Yeah, clarity, ability to slow, clarity, permission to slow down, and correct pronunciation. And the third one that I want to keep attention to is I want to take pauses, or at least not being afraid of taking pauses when the pause is needed. Yeah, for example, when I need to look for a word, or when I need to translate something, or when I just simply need time to consider what I'm going to say. Yeah. In these cases, it's absolutely okay to take a pause. Yes. No need to fill this gap with filler words, with unnecessary words that do not carry any meaning to the conversation. Yeah. So with these three basic rules, with these three basics rules, we can start our speaking practice, and our setup for this video is ready. Yeah, we know what we're gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do, and yeah. Before I'm going to start, I want to say that I'm practicing C1 level of questions. Yeah, it's not even B2. It's already C1 level of questions, and C1 level of questions not much difficult, but uh, it feels that the C1 level of questions are on the next level, yeah, on the one step higher than B2 level of questions. C1 level of questions require more uh, requires more deep analysis and consideration in order to answer. You'll understand what I'm talking about when I start. So, the question number one: if you could instantly understand any complex topic deeply, what kind of knowledge would you choose and why? If I could instantly understand any complex topic deeply, what kind of knowledge would I choose and why? Without further overthinking, without deep consideration, the answer for me would be very simple. Yeah, right now I'm investing my time and efforts in three fields: uh, Polish language, English language, and 3D animation. Yeah, in these three fields, I'm investing my time and energy, and I'm craving to get some results, craving to develop myself in these three uh, fields of knowledge. And my answer would be, if I could instantly understand any complex topic deeply, uh, what kind of knowledge I would choose? I would like to say 3D animation, but from my experience, 3D animation, understanding of 3D animation comes from not from studying per se. Of course, studying is important. It's important to know the rules, but the knowledge in 3D animation, um, how we call acquires, yeah, acquires through practice. Yes, through figuring things out by yourself on your own practice. That's how you build the knowledge in 3D animation. So 3D animation, it's not the priority for this question, because the best way to achieve knowledge in 3D animation, as I said, is practice, not theoretical understanding of something. So we have Polish and English right now. What of two languages would I choose to instantly get um, deep knowledge? Uh, I like. Let's say I like Polish language. Yeah, I like Polish language. I feel myself not fluent, of course, not absolutely natural in this language, but I feel not so much friction during um, switching to the Polish language. It's for me uh, like a neighbor language most of all. So, or at least language that's some kind of bind to me, if it have sense. Yeah, this is the language that just easy for me to perform. Yeah, let's put it in this way. It's not easier than English. Yeah, it's language. It requires studying, time, practicing. Of course, it's not that I'm absolutely talented in this language and can use it without previous preparation and years of studying. No, not at all. It's still difficult. But if choose between Polish and English, I would like to choose English. Why? Because mm, English is an international language. all world study English, all world speak English, all world use English, especially in all cases. Yes, in a work, in a travel, in a work, in traveling, mm, everywhere where you need to communicate with a person from foreign country. What language you gonna use? English. So the English is most usable, effective, and necessary tool to have in your skill set. And not only that, English for me, let's say, English for me is a difficult language. Yeah, I like English. Yeah. Moreover, I love English. I love how English sound. I love how many accents there is in English. I love how people use English. I love how it sounds. I love this language. Yeah, but it's very difficult for me to use simply because it's not my it's like my base, my first native language, absolutely drastically different from the English. That's why for me it's difficult simply to uh, move on to this flow of speaking English. Yeah, it always friction at the start, and even during, even after warm up, even after, let's say, 2 days of practicing English, I still need to keep attention to this language. Yes, sometimes I don't understand everything that other persons say. I need subtitles. Sometimes I forget some word. Sometimes I misuse the grammar. Sometimes I misspell the word. Yeah, it's very easy for me. Yeah, like for instance, the word. Uh, the 1 minute. I can't pronounce this word because I remember how it's pronounced by every letter. Yeah, but I don't remember the pronunciation. Vague.
Fake.
Vague the pronunciation, yes. But I wanted to pronounce it Wagyu, which is absolutely incorrect. Yeah, vague. This is the correct pronunciation, and that's what is make English more difficult than it might have been. Yeah, it's that spelling or grammar, or not usually, but actually very often is different from correct pronunciation of the word, and that makes language more complex, just simply because you can't say how you write. Yeah, you need you have different grammar, different pronunciation. Yeah, vague, vague. Not to forget this word, and that's what makes English like twice as difficult compared to language where you can, for example, Polish. Yeah, in a Polish, how you read this in the same way you pronounce, so it's easier to get grammar and pronunciation together correctly. In English, is double work. Yeah, you need to know the grammar, you need to know the spelling. You need to know the grammar, and you need to know the spelling. Yeah, that's what makes language twice as difficult. So, according to my examples, yes, according to it's not even my thoughts, it's just facts. Yes, the things that I said, it's a facts. Yeah, that's how these two languages constructed. Yeah, and English is more complex as a language, more useful as a tool. Yeah, and that's why if I had a choice, yeah, to deep my understanding at any complex topic, uh, according to my choice, yeah, I would choose English because it's simply more difficult, yeah, to learn. Yeah, I would like to have an instant deep knowledge of English. It would save me a lot of years of studying, but unfortunately, it's just a second conditional question. Yeah, if I could, I would. Yeah, but the reality is if I can't, yeah, just jump over a couple of years of studying English and get deep understanding of this language, yeah, and get deep understanding of this language. I can't get the knowledge without actually paying a lot of practicing, paying a lot of efforts, doing a lot of practicing and studying in this subject. Yeah. On the one hand, is it's difficult. On the other hand, it, it's a reality. Yeah, you can't just speak English um, without paying efforts. Yes, and that's mean if you paid your efforts, you have the skill, and because this skill is very difficult to achieve, is it is a valuable asset. Yeah, in your possession. Okay. And people usually understand it, and people respect, and other people respect it. Yeah, when you can speak foreign language, or you can speak more than one foreign language, because they understand. Usually, they understand. Yeah, in the best cases, that how much efforts you put in it, and they respect the effort. Any adequate human being will respect the effort. Yeah, because no need to explaining, yeah? If you see someone get something very good and paid effort to achieve this, you respect him because it's not like he get it by chance or by or someone else gave it to him. No, it was his effort, his work, and his um, achievement. Yes, and uh, it deserves it deserves respect just by itself. Yeah. Let's move to the next question. Why do people often underestimate how long things will take to complete? Why people? At first, why the ChatGPT thinks that people often underestimate how long things will take to complete? Uh, it's kind of let's say debatable question. Yeah. Um, at first, let's say that I'm not, I don't agree with the idea that people often underestimate how long things will take to complete. If person is adequate, if person can calculate and have at least, I don't know, time to consider what is going to happen, usually they will, of course, they won't calculate precisely the amount of time needed to things to complete, but at least they will understand that some things requires much time or a lot of time. Yeah, like for instance, when I started learning languages, yes, when I only started to learn English, I never thought that it's going to be a fast journey, or I will get native or fluent or C1 for a year or for 2 years. I didn't even think about it really. When I decided for myself uh that I'm gonna mm, devote myself. Let's check its correct pronunciation. Devote. Let's check if it's correct pronunciation.
Devote.
Devote. Yeah, correct pronunciation. When I devoted myself to studying English, when I started, uh, it didn't take me a lot of logic or consideration to understand that it's gonna be a very, very long journey, and probably I will get B1, or let's start from A2 in 1 year. Then in the next year I will get B1. Then in the next year I will be very happy, or at least very fortunate and very productive to get B2 level of English. Yeah. I I had an understanding that language learning, it's let's say lifelong lifelong destination. Yeah, it's happening during the whole life. There is no measurement of where the language learning gonna end. Yeah, and I think it's was quite precise estimation from me uh, when I began studying language. So probably I should give the other instance, like why do people, when they take some work to do, they usually underestimate how long things will take to complete, like a work project or freelance project, or this kind of things, like where you need to give to the person who order from you a job, yeah, or a product, how long it will take to complete, and to give them, or at least tell them the date when the product's gonna be ready, or when the product's gonna reach them. Um, why people usually underestimate? And my answer is this type of underestimation from the luck, usually happen from the lack of experience, because um, I don't have any other explanation. Yeah, if you're an experienced person, if you are doing your job for a very long time, you usually know from experience how long it's gonna take you do one thing or another. Yes, so you have a general understanding of your limits, of your productivity, of your speed. Yeah. So usually you gonna evaluate time correctly in these cases. But if you don't have experience to work with a project or with a product, or it's your, I don't know, only the beginning of your career, or only the beginning of your career, in that case, yes, you can't underestimate or overestimate your abilities, and tell the wrong date, give the wrong deadlines, yeah, to your team, uh, to the person, to the team, to your client, yeah, only because of lack of experience and clear understanding how the things works. But if you have experience, I don't think you're gonna often underestimate or overestimate time needed to complete the task. This is my answer. The question number 3. If every decision you made came with immediate feedback about its future outcome, how do you think that would affect your behavior? A very familiar question, because I've answered on the similar one in the previous speaking practice video, but because I've deleted previous speaking practice video, it isn't count. Yeah, it's kind of fresh question, even when it's not. Okay. Uh, if every decision you made came with immediate feedback about its future outcome, how do you think that would affect your behavior? It's kind of question of prediction of the future. It's kind of superpower, yeah, when you can 100% predict predict what's gonna happen in the future from your present actions. Yeah, it's not realistic. Yeah, it's not realistic. It's not applicable to real life. What you actually can do is you can calculate and consider. Yeah, by logic, by likelihood, by math, by using math. Yeah, what is likely to happen and what is unlikely to happen, but it, it is never precise information. Yeah, it's never precise conclusions. It's kind of just logical prediction of what might happen, but you never know what is going to happen for sure. Yeah, you can just kind of calculate and try to predict the future outcome, but sometimes it works, sometimes it's not, but that's all. Yeah, what you can do, what is real for you to perform. But the question was, if every decision you made, it's a second conditional. Yeah, it's a question of what if. Yeah. How do I think it would affect my behavior? At first, if I have this superpower, if I had this superpower of predicting the future, I would um, simply adjust my present actions in order to get the desirable outcome in the future. Simple as that. I would just use this superpower to change, adjust, and mm, mold my future how I want it to be. Yeah, simple as that. The question number 4. Do you think people are generally more influenced by logic or by emotion when making important choices? It depends on the character. Yeah. I think I'm very logical person. I think I'm very logical person. Yeah. But when I do the important decisions, when I consider what I'm going to do in the decisions that very deeply, let's say, very deeply and strongly important for me, like choosing my way in life or choosing what to do in life, it's kind of mix of logic and emotions, and usually emotions wins because it's more about understanding and feeling what is right than asserting what is right. Yeah, logic helps when you already understand what you're going to do, and you need logic to simply build a structure, build a strategy, build a plan. Yeah, analyze how you gonna to get it. Analyze simply. Yeah, logic need for analysis. Logic need logic needs for analysis. Logic needs for building the path. Yeah, but the decision in which way to go, yeah, which path to choose, is, at least in my case, held by emotions. Yeah, don't know how it works for other people, but I think in general we all have some kind of understanding inside us, yeah, that what is right for us and what is wrong. And usually in our decisions we're listening to this voice, yes, and this voice inside us usually makes a decision. And then we just use our mind, our capabilities, our analytical um, abilities, yeah, analytical abilities, to build the path on the road which we choose. But what road to choose, as I said, is something like feeling, choose something like we feel the correct path for us. Yeah. The next question. Why do some experiences feel much longer or shorter than they actually are. It's fully question of okay, let's read it again in order not to misunderstand it. Why do some experiences feel much longer or shorter than they actually are? And this is a question about perception. Yeah, it's like you can be focused on something fully, like reading book or doing your job or exercising, and time just slipping like moments. Yeah, one moment um, transform into an hour. Yeah, minutes as you feel it. Like it's just a couple of seconds, but it's kind of already 3 hours. Yes, you've spent on something. That's how focusing works. When you are really engaged in something, when you are really there, yeah, in the thing that you do, when you focused, engaged, and your mind work with it, you time for you are going very fast in this case. But when you are boring, when you don't know where to get your attention, when you are distracted, yeah, when you don't have this state of flowing mind, when you're not engaged in some activity or other thing, time for you very slow. Time for you usually very slow. It's like, you can do your favorite thing or do your favorite job, yeah, or try to fix some problem. It requires a lot of your attention and you can easily lost yourself in a time during it because your mind is working, your mind is keeping attention to the thing, yeah. But when you just sitting in a queue, yeah, for instance, you need to get to the doctor and there is a queue before you and you sitting in a queue and just simply waiting for your turn. It's like you understand your goal. Your goal is get to the doctor, yeah, but you can't just get it because there is a people before you and it is not your turn. You can't deal with it, and if you will focus on a task that you can't, let's say, deal with, yeah, you can only wait. Your mind is starting uh, concentrating on waiting, and when you concentrating on time, what is going to happen? You starting noticing time much more. Yeah, when you concentrating on time, you start noticing time literally by seconds. Yeah, minute for you might be like eternity. Yeah, especially when you are in a queue because you concentrating on time. Yeah, you keeping attention to time, and that's how it. This is my explanation, at least. Yeah, and my answer on this question. And I genuinely think that this is working this way. When you are concentrating on time, time for you goes very slowly. But when you're concentrating on task or engaged into something, time for you sleeping very fast. That's how our mind work. Yeah, to which you actually on which you focusing your attention right now. Yes, um that the mm, 1 minute. That's the decisive factor. Yeah, decisive factor. Good. Very good that I remember this word. Decisive. This is the decisive factor. Okay. The next question. If you could completely remove one common fear from human life, which one would it be, and how might that change society? I'm not ready right now to think about society because, it's already 1 and 30 a.m. of the morning, yeah, and I need to sleep, and I don't have mental capacity right now to think about how kind of fears that I might remove will affect the society. But I'm capable now and able now to talk about myself. Yeah, so let's take myself as an example. What fear would I like to remove from myself and how it might affect how it might affect me as a personality psychologically? And what type of fear I would like to remove, or at least to get under my control, is to fear of things that I haven't experienced yet. Yeah, it's like it's a new thing for me. I don't know how to react, and the first experience for me usually absolutely devastated in the cases when I don't have previous experience. Probably because of fear. Yeah, because of fear of this first experience in a thing that I don't encounter before. Yeah, make me very nervous, and I'm failing a lot. Like let's say my first experience in playing football. If I would try to play football, yeah, because I didn't play football for years. Yeah, last time I played football was at school, and I wasn't very good at that. So if let's say I would decide now to try myself in football, the first experience would be absolute devastation. It would be the worst experience, the worst performance in a human history. Yeah, in football. If I will try right now to perform in that sport, because I don't have experience in it. Yeah, the first experience gonna be real devastation. But of course, the second experience is gonna be better. The third, and that's how I work. This is how my body and my psychic work. First experience, first try, always devastation. Always so even unbelievably devastated. So unbelievably uh, bad that if someone would see it, he would say that I'm never gonna, you know, play football even on amateur level. Never in my life because I'm so bad in it. Yeah. But I know myself and I know how I'm working. Yeah. First experience is a fail, 100%, but I will become better. I will become better during the time, during the practice, and when I get enough experience to feel myself familiar and confident in a thing, I will perform on a very stable, solid, and mm, skillful level. Yeah, if I have this kind of experience in it. Not all humans work like that. Uh, some just can pick up things at a first try, just simply naturally. Yeah, but for me, it's not working like that, and probably because of the fear of unexperienced before experiences. Yeah, and I would like to, if I could, I would like to change it, but I think I'm quite comfortable with myself, and I know what I need to do in order to get better. Yeah, it's not that I want to do everything at the first try on 100% success. Yeah, no, I don't need it. Yeah, I can fail the first time. But what I really know for myself that after a practice, I will become better. And after a lot of practice, I will become quite solid and confident in in every craft that I will choose for myself. So this is not a problem on the one hand, but on the other hand, it would be easier for me if I could pick up things naturally just from the start. But it is not. Yeah, and I'm still okay with that. I know that I always win on a long distance after I get a practice, but because I'm very persistent and consistent person if I decided to do something, yeah? So I always win on the long run. Or at least I win for myself on the long run, yeah? If I decided to do something. I'm not going to quit it. Yeah, I'm going to continue until I get enough expertise and solidify my performance in a craft. The question number 8. Why do people sometimes avoid opportunities that could actually improve their lives? Um, Fear of uh, unknown. Yeah, similar to the fear that I explained in a previous question. Yeah, when you see the opportunity, you're not always sure to which it's going to lead. Yeah, probably it would be a win, probably it would be a loss, but you don't know it. Yeah, you don't even know if it's a good opportunity or a bad opportunity. Yeah, it's like, do you really need it or you don't? Yeah, so sometimes avoidance is kind of self-protection, I guess. Like, you want to move in your own way. You want to do things in your own way. You want to thread or tread your own road. Yeah? Even if it's difficult, even if it seems unlogical to someone, yeah? You want to move. You want to go your own way. Yeah. And if opportunity contradicts with your own vision of your on your way, like, it might lift you a little, but on the long run you gonna lose your road. Yes. um, just for instance, yes. In that case you avoid the opportunity preserve in order to preserve you ignore the opportunity or avoid the opportunity, short-term opportunity, in order to preserve your authenticity in your own way. Yeah, I think that's how it works for people like me. Yeah, who always like to build on their own, always like to go their own way, the way that they choose for themselves. Probably for other people, it's much more easier. Yes, to change the roads, change the ways. Yes, just by jumping from up one opportunity to another. Probably they are more successful, or at least faster to get success in life. But for me, it's kind of very important that my feeling of myself and my yes that for me it's very important that I feel myself good with myself, yeah, within myself. That for me, it's very important to feel good to be me, yeah. And if some opportunity will lift me in some way, yeah, shortly, but I will lose myself, but I will lose my ways, and will stop getting pleasure from being me. It's not gonna be success for me. It's gonna be a failure, and it's only will drag me down on the long distance. So I always choose self-preservation compared to the opportunities, let's say. But if the opportunity not contradicts with my vision, with my road, and with my values, I will use it. Why not? Yeah. But I always judge from the perspective of my own values and my own direction. Yeah. If there is an opportunity, but this opportunity contradicts or is leading in a different way, in a way that I don't choose, I'm not going to use it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm talking about myself because I'm a little bit tired and I'm not ready to consider or discuss, yeah, other possibilities, other people, yeah, analyze it somehow. It's a mental work, yeah, to think about things like that, to analyze someone or something, or to predict something or someone. It's a mental work, and my mind now it's quite tired and don't have this resources, don't have these resources to perform this type of analysis. So I'm talking about myself because I know myself, and that's much more easier and it's much more easier to talk about yourself because you know yourself. Yeah, it's like you confident in a topic. It's like you fluent in this topic. Yeah, you can make a lot of examples about yourself because you know yourself. You have the experience. It's much more easier than start considering comparing different people, different situation. Yeah, more mental load on the mind. Yeah. So, stories that I'm talking about myself, but it's the only way how I can now perform the speaking practice and not fall asleep. Okay, the question number 9. If people had perfect memory and never forgot anything, what could be the advantages and disadvantages? Let's say that I think people have very strong memory because me, for example, I remember almost everything that happened in my life. Good moments, bad moments, even some precise moments, even some random moments. I remember even how I feel myself at that moment, how I thought at that moment, how I felt at that moment, how I thought in this moment, what I thought in this moment. I remember all of this. So my answer is perfect memory is good. If people had the perfect memory, I see only advantages in it, no disadvantages. But it's like the only disadvantage from the good memories that you might have is you remember good moments the same as the bad moments. Yeah, so you need to kind of know how to deal with with these bad experiences and bad memories. But in reality, actually, it's like the study shows, and it's actually a fact, yeah, that our mind tend to remember more bad moments in our life than good moments because there is a logical explanation to it, biological even explanation, that remembering the bad moments and bad experience in our lives, we protecting ourselves, our mind protecting ourselves, uh, not to get to this situation again. Yes, because we have kind of negative experience, we remember this experience very well, and we're not gonna get ourselves again into that bad experience. Yeah, that's how our biology, that's how our survival mechanism works, and that's why we tend to better remember the bad things that happen to us in our life. Yeah, so actually, even the disadvantage that I give as an example, it's not quite relevant because in any case, our mind is very good at remembering bad things. So I see no disadvantages. Yeah, if people would have a perfect memory. Yeah, you just need to know how to deal with all this bad stuff that's going on in your head and how to concentrate on the good stuff. Yeah, simply how to manage yourself as a human being. If you know how to do it, or you eventually learn how to do it, or you will destroy yourself. Yeah, there is no kind of third way. Yeah, we all humans, we all have bad experience, and if we don't know how to deal with these bad experiences, how to integrate them properly in our psyche, we are gonna to we might start self-destroying. Yeah, but usually humans mm, let's say manage themselves quite well. Yeah, with all this stuff, not usually quite well, but it's a manageable thing. Yeah, someone needs psychiatry, someone can manage it on its own. Yeah, we all have our ways of coping and restructuring, um, reanalyzing, and yeah, things like that. So my answer is no downsides, only advantages like better studying, better memory. Like if I have the perfect memory, I wouldn't forget new words in English. Yeah, and it would help me a lot in studying. Yeah, if I had a best memory, I wouldn't forget words in English, and my progress in English would have been much more faster. Yeah, so only advantages. Yeah, in this case. Okay, the question number 10. Do you think it's possible to truly understand another person's perspective or only approximate it? It depends. Yeah, when you let's say we all have our different perspectives, yeah, but in order to communicate, we create some mutual structures, yeah, some facts, some statements, some logical rules on which we are basing our conversation. Yeah, like for instance, I don't know, it's very difficult to explain because it's kind of very well understand it instinctively. You, because when you talk to other person, you understand that this person don't think like you, but you instinctively, like kind of mechanically, when you talk, you create some kind of statements, rules, some you create some construction of your thoughts, yes, that is understandable for every fucking person with logic and with ability to think at least a little, yeah. You give a construction, the construction of your idea, yes, you give a structure, and this person, they get the structure, and you are kind of talking around the structure, around these rules that you created, like yeah, like you have an image in your head. Let's talk about let's talk about it. I forget this word. Abstractly, yeah. Let's talk about abstract things. You have an image in your head, then you take a sheet of paper and you put this image into the sentences, blah 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 blah, into the ideas, or you paint this image from your head on the sheet of paper. Then you show this sheet of paper to the other person, and other person interpreting your painting. Yes, and other person simply interpreting your painting. Uh, yes, and other person simply interpreting your painting. Yeah, and kinda then uh, giving you the painting of their perspective, of their ideas. Yes, what in their head, and then you get in their paint, and you kind of working with it. Yeah, by painting, I mean rhetorics, words, ideas, meanings. Yeah, it's might sound complex, but it's very easy. Like we don't translate minds to each other heads. We use constructions, we use words, we use meanings, we use images. We use all to communicate our ideas. So basically, we give the physical physical, oh, how this word would be. We give physical impersonation. We give physical impersonation of our ideas, of our thoughts, through words, through paintings, through objects, yeah, through depiction, through everything. And the other person get this object and start interpret it by its own mind, yeah, by its own perception. So it's kind of how we are finding the mutual language between each other, yeah, how we communicate the ideas. We depict the idea, we make it tangible, sort of, yeah, and the other person can touch it and perceive it by its own mind, yeah. It doesn't mean that this person thinks the same, or it doesn't mean that this person sees the same thing as you think by expressing this idea, but at least it's a way of communicating, yeah. That's how it works. Not going to elaborate further because it might be very deep topic and very long discussed, but sorry guys, I'm tired. I'm tired and I want to go to sleep, and I'm quite how to call it? Yeah, in my native language, if translate what I want to say, it would be a good boy, but I don't want to call myself good boy. It would be this kind of wrong depiction of what I'm trying to say right now. I am okay. Let's translate because I don't know how to convert it to English properly. Surely not a good boy. I'm a man already, quite adult to call myself boy. Okay, there is no direct translate to the phrase that I try to translate. Let's say that I did very good today, that I perform this practice, even when I was, even when I've been tired. Yeah, even when I was tired. Yeah, I'm still glad that I did it. It was a good decision, and I think I improved I think I improved my English today a little more. Yeah, on a little step forward. Good. Tomorrow, or probably the day after tomorrow, there is gonna be another small step, and by these small steps, eventually, I will build the solid, profound knowledge in language and skill as well, ability to perform, execute, and use the language. Thanks to watching, and see you in the next speaking practice video. Have a good night.